Sahana vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahe Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. This practice is dedicated to Abby on her birthday. We used to do the Surya Namaskara practice based on the Bihar School's methodology prior to COVID, and this is an acknowledgement of her and that time that we had together. We're going to look at Surya Namaskar at several different levels. We'll first of all experience it on the physical level. It's a great all-around practice for balancing and limbering up your body. If in a given day you don't have time for anything else, just doing a round or three is a great way to start your day. Second, we're going to work with Surya Namaskar for awareness and movement of the pranic body, of Kundalini energy, chi throughout our body. Then we're going to take it to a next more advanced practice where we work with mantra as well, and that helps us to control our mind. In fact, there's two different ways that mantra can be classified. One is when you're actively chanting it, which is what we do most of the time. After a while, if you use the same chant over and over, your mind starts to play it on its own. It's sort of like an enlightenment earworm. And that's what we use to calm the chatty part of our mind, the thinking, agitated part of our mind. So we'll look at that. And then finally, something that we can shoot for to eventually incorporate into Surya Namaskar or any yoga practice is an awareness of the subtle body. So a tuning in of a mental focus, a dharana on a particular chakra. And what that does is connects us to that elusive part of ourself that's eternal. And once we're connected to that part of ourselves, once we have an awareness of it, then our life suddenly has meaning. We understand what is important for us, what a meaningful life looks like, and how to live it. So let's go ahead and come up to standing. I'm going to do the first round, classic standing posture, and then I'm going to do a round sitting in a chair to show that the physical part of this is perhaps the least important, and that anybody can do this practice and get a tremendous amount out of it. All right, so the first position, the hands are at the center of the chest, and I would say that the purpose of this one is to feel your grounding and your stability, and then also to tap into your inner guidance, your personal consciousness. So there's a flame in the center of the chest called the jyoti that's the flame of our individual consciousness. So we're finding that connection. Position one. Position two is simple. It's a nice lengthening upward stretch. A little bit of a back bend, an opening, just like you would first morning stretch. Notice that you can alter the position of the arms and hands to enhance the ability to stretch through the side body and the armpits, the axilla. Oh, great. Good. And then third position, forward bend. I would say for almost everyone, and especially the first forward bend of the morning, do it with very bent knees because we're trying to stretch the back of the body, in particular the legs, without doing any harm to the low back. So find your forward bend position. Think about your sits bones more than anything else, and then try and lift your sits bones upwards as your heels ground downward. All right, then we're going to move to the next position. Step your leg back in the Bihar School. It's done with the knee down and quite a bit of forward angle of the forward knee ahead of the foot. The purpose of this pose is to start to stretch the front of the body, especially the front of the thigh and the hip flexors that very rarely get stretched, especially in our sedentary and seated world. Good. Next position, down dog. Right, the goal here, get length between each of the vertebrae of the spine. Feel a lengthening of the tailbone in one direction and the crown of the head in the other. If you find it challenging in your shoulders, you can take your hands and slightly rotate them externally to help get the shoulder blades further around on the back of the body. The next position is either a plank pose or I'm not super strong, so I like to do knees, chest, chin. The next posture is Cobra pose. So using the strength of the arms, arch up. And again, the purpose here is we're trying to get stretch in the front of the body, but in particular from the belly button up to the third eye spot, to the brow. Good, and then we go from there and back to a down dog. You probably all know this, but you typically start out with the right leg stepping back, and then that same right leg stepping forward to get the lunge on the other side. Step forward and fold. Come up, get that stretch of the front of the body, and then reconnect to your inner guidance, your grounding. Good. So a round of Surya Namaskar is once on the right side, once on the left side. So I'm going to do the left side seated in a chair. While you're waiting for me, you can just have your hands at the center of your chest. All right, so this is going to be left side. Start with the hands at the heart. And then we're going to stretch, in particular, stretching the upper body, lengthening through the spine. Ah. Good. And then we fold forward and find a way to do that where you can get some stretch along the entirety of your back body. The legs, the back of the legs, the spine, the back of the neck. Good. Then we're going to go step back with the left leg into a lunge. So in a chair, you're just going to slide to the edge of the chair, reach one leg back, and try and stretch through the side of your body. You can even stretch with your arm as well. Good. Then we go to down dog. So whatever modification you do, just remember the purpose of the physical pose is lengthening through the spine, reaching the tailbone in one direction, the crown of the head in the other. Good. And then some variation on plank pose, feeling the strength and stability in your upper body. And then going to an up dog. Good. Back to down dog. Good. And then stretch the hip flexors and the front of the thigh in a lunge. Good. Back to our forward fold. Inhale up. Exhale, find that jyoti, that inner light. And go ahead and focus on your inner light while I get us set up. Okay, so that's nice, that's great. Your body can feel good and get a lot of benefits from it. Let's harness the power of the practice by connecting it with the breath. Feel the breath as the instigator of movement. We're back to the right side and we're going to inhale and reach up. We're going to fold forward and exhale. We're going to step back and inhale. Down dog, exhale. Hold the breath for chaturanga, or knees, chest, chin. Inhale for cobra. Exhale, down dog. Inhale the right foot forward, lunge. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, find the jyoti. Find the jyoti. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, left leg back. Exhale, down dog. Breath held out, suspended out. If you know Uddiyana Bandha, engage it. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. Left foot forward. Exhale, fold over. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Great, we're going to do another round, and this time we'll start to chant. The chant is going to be mental. I'll be chanting out loud. The reason that the chant is mental is because you can't chant when you're inhaling. And I'm just going to, you can choose any chant that resonates with you. I'm going to choose Lokah, samamstah, sukhino, bhavantu, which is all beings be happy. And I'll use one of those words for each of the positions. So come to hands at your heart. Mentally chant Lokah. As you inhale and stretch up, samamstah. Fold forward, exhale. Sukhino. Step back with the right foot. Bhavantu. Down dog, exhale. Lokah. Hold the breath. Knees, chest, chin. Samamstah. Inhale for cobra. Sukhino. Exhale, down dog. bhavantu. Right foot forward. Lokah, samamstah, sukhino, bhavantu. Pause for a couple of breaths. Left side, still chanting. Here we go. Oops, I did that wrong. Hands at the heart. Lokah, samamstah, sukhino. Left foot back. Bhavantu. Down dog. Lokah. Hold the breath. Samamstah. Cobra, sukhino. Down dog. Bhavantu. Left foot forward. Lokah. Samamstah. Sukhino. Bhavantu. Great. Pause for a second. Find your internal flame. So with the chants, we start to be able to control the fluctuations of the thinking mind. If you want to put it in context of the 8 limbs of yoga, it's like a way to minimize sensory stimulation. It's a Pratyahara component of doing sun salutations. And maybe this part will work for you today. Maybe it'll be something that you shoot for in the future. We're going to use another limb of a yogic practice, dharana, or focus, to take us to the next level, to experience the subtle body, to enhance, balance, build awareness of the subtle body. And for that, we have a focal point on one of the chakras for each of the positions. So let's go through the rounds again. This one's easy, right at the center of the heart. The symbol, an easy symbol for the heart chakra is 2 triangles, one facing up and one facing down, so it ends up looking like a Star of David. Maybe you can get a mental image of that or a physical sensation for that, or you might still use that flame, the jyoti. As you inhale, you bring your attention to the throat chakra, Vishuddhi, which is sometimes symbolized as a full moon or a 16-petaled flower. Exhale, fold over. Take your attention down to the second chakra, the tailbone area. This is symbolized by a crescent moon that's like in the shape of a smile with the belly hanging down. See if you can have a sense of the second chakra or overlay this image of a crescent moon at the tailbone. Great, we'll step back to a lunge. And we pull the attention to the third eye spot. And there's so many great images here you can use. The Om symbol, you can use the symbol for the chakra that looks a little bit like is it the snitch in Quidditch in Harry Potter? So it's a circle with the Om inside and 2 little wings. Good. And then we'll step back to down dog. And the focus here shifts to the throat, that full moon shape or that 16-petaled flower. Now we shift our focus to the navel. And your breath is held out and you pull the navel strongly back towards your spine like you're doing Uddiyana Bandha. Then for Cobra, the focus comes to the second chakra, Svadhisthana, either in your tailbone or it might be easier to concentrate on it at your pubic bone. Inhale, come up.
Exhale to down dog. Focus comes to Vishuddhi at the throat. Right foot forward, up to the third eye spot, Ajna chakra. Exhale, fold. Back down to the tailbone, Svadhisthana. Inhale up to the throat, Vishuddhi. Exhale, come back to the heart. Left side, focus at the heart, Anahat. Maybe you can find a symbol for that. Inhale, or reach up. Attention is at the throat, Vishuddhi. Exhale, fold. The mind is focused at the tailbone, Svadhisthana. Left foot back, focus at the brow spot. Step back to down dog. Focus at Vishuddhi in the throat. Hold the breath. Engage Uddiyana Bandha. Feel the navel point. Focus at the navel point. Use just chin. Focus at Svadhisthana, tailbone or pubic bone. Cobra. Exhale, Vishuddhi. Left foot forward, brow, Ajna. Exhale, fold, tailbone. Inhale up, throat chakra. Exhale, hands to chest. Okay, now choosing whichever of those levels works for you, we're going to move through 2 or 3 rounds, depending on how out of breath I get. And I will be chanting, but your chants would either be mental or only do the exhale portion out loud. All right, back to the front of the mat. Lokah samamstah sukhino bhavantu. 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 One more round, right side, left side. Lokah, samamstah, sukhino, bhavantu. 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 Excellent. Okay, let's come down to seated. For just a little bit longer, notice how you feel. Maybe notice how you feel that's different than how you usually feel. If you are comfortable doing so, or not too uncomfortable doing so, go ahead and come into Sadasana, sitting on your heel. And just above your heel, have a visualization or an awareness of a red square that symbolizes the earth and being grounded. Feel the low part, the lower extremities feel heavier. As though the earth element were imbuing this portion of your body. Grounded, solid, stable. The imbalanced version of this is like a fearful herd mentality. And feel yourself moving to an opposite of that. And then shift up to your sacrum, or if it's easier, to your pubic bone, and visualize a crescent moon that hangs downward. And this is often seen as a silvery, mercurial color. And it symbolizes water, and you can feel the more fluid nature of the low belly. And then bring your attention up to your belly button area, or if you can go deeper into the body behind the belly button, visualize a red triangle that's pointing downwards.
and experience the fiery metabolic component of the gut, the inherent fire and digestion and assimilation. An imbalance of this part of the body is a craving, a relentless craving and drive for power that leaves everything in waste to achieve that end, and feel yourself move towards a balanced and opposite extremity. And then come up to the chest. And as we noticed before, either see that Star of David shaped two bisected triangles, or if the light of your consciousness, that flame of Jyoti, is easy for you, feel that in your chest. Feel the lightness and expansiveness of the air component. And then come up to the throat, the pit of the throat. Oftentimes this is seen as a full moon, or you might see a purple 16-petaled flower, or you may see nothing at this point. And just put your awareness in the throat and notice the component of space, that which contains and holds everything else. The idea that holds and contains everything else. Up to the eyebrow center. And a great image here is the Om symbol, which is like a 3 shape with a almost circular tail coming out of the back of it, a little crescent moon above it, and a single dot above the crescent moon, symbolizing our focus. And lastly, coming up to the top of your head, it's like an ever-expanding flower bursting forth from the center, expanding outwards over and over and over infinitely. And then we'll do a few rounds of chanting Lokah, samamstah, sukhino, bhavantu, which hopefully feels second nature at this point after the practice. Here we go. Lokah, samamstah, sukhino, bhavantu. 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 Lokah samamstah sukhino 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 bhavantu. And now, depending on which would feel more beneficial to you, either relax on your back or stay meditating. So in our practice today, we used Surya Namaskara, the sun salutations, to explore the inner relationship between our physical body, the pranic body, the energy moves through us, the mental body, the thinking aspect of ourselves, and then finally the subtle body, the eternal part of ourselves that is often completely excluded from everyday life. As we begin to come out of our meditation or relaxation pose, let's revisit our awareness of the physical body. The easiest one, because we're so often in that state. And then feel the prana, feel the energy that surges through you, the life that surges through you. I think often we confuse that for the physical sensations. Feel the aliveness in you. And then feel perhaps the somewhat tamed mental component of yourself. The use of chanting to help us still, calm, and focus the mind. To tone down the amount that the senses distract our mind. Chanting in Sanskrit is a spiritual practice as opposed to a communication practice. Feel that stillness in your mind from the chanting. And then lastly, feel that expansiveness of yourself that's connected to the cosmos, that is undying, that we use the very humble symbology of the chakras to try and represent something that is non-representational. The part of you that is unafraid of death, that is unencumbered in life, and it is the conduit to meaning and a meaningful existence. Great. And if you're on your back, go ahead and start to wiggle and stretch through your fingers, your wrists, elbows, shoulders, toes, feet, ankles, knees, hips. Stretch through the whole of your body. Rub the palms of the hands together and soles of the feet. Bend your knees and put your feet on the floor and drop your knees side to side. Drop the knees all the way over to one side or the other. Roll to that side. Pause. Experiencing a state of ease, strength, calm, and focus. And then use your hands to push yourself all the way back up. And let's chant one long Satnam to close out. Let's bow to the light, to the eternal nature in each of us. Satnam, Namaste. Oh, I realized I forgot to chant Om Namo Gurudev Namo in the beginning. Sorry about that. Still feel the connection. All right. Thank you so much. Happy birthday, Abby. And we'll see you next week.